to me because when I came out
put those aside so they're not going to interrupt this incredible ceremony that we have planned for you this morning. We're going to hear from some of the highest veteran leaders, esteemed dignitaries, and honored guests. My name is Philip Palmer. I work for Channel 7 here in Los Angeles, do the morning news. It was a wonderful opportunity to be able to be here with you. Forgive me if I mess up a little bit. Usually there's about 4 people in the building when I'm working. So to see all of these people in this wonderful event and this great venue behind us, it can get intimidating. I mean, we have a presidential candidate here. So, you got to be very careful what you do and what you say. But this afternoon, we're going to have a much more casual, interactive atmosphere. You've got a lot of options. You can watch a movie. There will be aerial demonstrations. You can look at military and veteran exhibits up close. Marvel at a drill team performance. Get your steps in by participating in a boot camp. Listen to music, engage in meet and greets, and eat from one of many of the food vendors. Just look around and you'll see we've got a great day for you. Veterans Day LA is a celebration of those who have served in the United States military. It's a commemoration of those who've paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom and a way to strengthen a community that takes care of its own. Whether you're currently in the military, a veteran, family member, friend, caregiver, supportive citizen, we're here to let you know that you matter. If you've served in any way, you've earned everything that we're going to show you today. Today we have 65 booths of Christmas Tree Lane. It's on Christmas Tree Lane. Going to help with housing, education, health, mental health, legal services, service connected to benefits, so much more. And just think about it, today is a day where you're surrounded by people who love you and appreciate you and are glad for you. A special thanks goes out to LA County Supervisor Hahn for making this event a reality. Supervisor Hahn will tell you we can't do it without our sponsors, LA County Military and Veterans Affairs, United Airlines, ABC7, the LA Rams, Battleship Iowa, LA Metro, Lionsgate, Midway, USC Sol Price School of Public Policy, the American Red Cross LA region. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
Peter.
Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Marine Corps veteran Elliot McKenzie will now sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Silent right now as we conduct what is called the POWMIA Ceremony. This ceremony is rich with military tradition as we honor those men and women of our armed forces who, in defense of the freedoms of our country and that of the free world, are unaccounted for, and they're classified as prisoners of war or missing in action. At all military functions where meals are served, those heroes are always honored and remembered. The table is set for our prisoners of war and those missing in action from all wars. They are not with us today, but the table is round to show that our concern for them is never ending. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms so that their children could remain free. Let us remember the United States Army. Let us remember the United States Marine Corps. Let us remember the United States Navy. Let us remember the United States Air Force. Let us remember the United States Coast Guard. Let us remember the United States Merchant Marines. Let us remember the United States National Guard. Let us remember the men and women, prisoners of war from all branches of service that are too often forgotten. Let us remember them. The lone candle symbolizes the frailty of a prisoner alone, trying to stand up against his oppressors. The candle and the red ribbon on the candle remind us of those who will not be coming home. The single red rose reminds us of the loved ones and families of our comrades in arms who keep the faith and await their return. red ribbon on the rose represents the love of our country, which inspired them to answer the nation's call. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate if we do not bring them home. There's salt on the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait and remember. The glass is inverted, reminding us that our distinguished comrades cannot be with us to drink a toast or join in these festivities today. Maybe tomorrow, if we remember. As we look at this empty table, do not remember ghosts from the past, but remember our comrades. American Veterans Association, please welcome Ted.
Akulia Ayananga, welcome to Los Angeles, in the languages spoken by the indigenous people here in Los Angeles. Good morning, I am Ted Tenorio of the Native American Veterans Association. I want to thank General Ruth Wong, Director of the County of Los Angeles Military Veterans Affairs, and the County Board of Supervisors Chair, Janet Hahn, for allowing me this opportunity to be here with you today for the opening prayer. I ask you to please stand with me as I say, Great Spirit, please help us, Creator, in our ancestral way, to call upon you, the Great Spirit, to enlighten our hearts, soul, and minds as we gather here today to honor those who have served our country, the grandfathers, the grandmothers, the men, women, and aunts and uncles, and the boys and girls. So today we can stand here and continue to know life in a free, democratic society. Please bless all people who are here today. We remember those who have passed, but that's only half of the task that is before us. Today, please let us honor every returning veterans of our armed forces so they feel truly and appropriately honored by the attention and appreciation of our fellow citizens. Let none feel neglected or forgotten. May our Los Angeles veterans feel the enduring gratitude of the nation and its people. And Great Spirit, please bring healing, health, to help to all veterans and their beloved families on this Veterans Day 2019. Aho. Thank you.
And welcome to the inaugural Veterans Day LA. Inaugural means we're going to try to do this every year and make it bigger and better every year. But thanks to all of you who showed up on the very first one, that is meaningful. And thank you to Phil for being our MC this morning. Thank you to ABC7 for being our sponsor. I was watching Phil this morning on the early morning show, so he's already been up and doing a morning show, and yet he chose to be here with us today for this inaugural event. Let's give it up. Thank you, Phil. And again, to the Beach Brass Band, you all are fabulous. Aren't they nice playing this patriotic music as we were gathering this morning? Thank you. You know, I wanted to hold this Veterans Day LA here at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum because it is so much more than a stadium. It's a war memorial. The civic visionaries here in Los Angeles who fought for this Coliseum to be built dedicated it to the young men from Los Angeles who marched off to the fields of Europe in 1917 and 1918, many of whom never came home from the war to end all wars. And then my father, the original Supervisor Hahn, who was also a veteran, he served in the Navy in World War II, he later led the effort to dedicate the Coliseum to honor all World War I veterans from across the nation, not just those from here. Let's hear it for that and for my late, great Father, soon this morning we will light that historic Coliseum torch at exactly 11 a.m. and church bells across the area will ring to coincide with the 101st anniversary of the armistice that famously ended World War I on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And wherever we are in the ceremony, somebody might be in the middle of their speech or sentence, we're going to stop to make sure we hit that 11 o'clock torch lighting. We're honored to have several World War II veterans, including members of the Tuskegee Airmen, here with us today.
Down for a few hours, bring troops together for a quick photo op, and then go home. We're tired of these self-serving politicians. Tired of those who are unwilling to sacrifice their own lives for our freedom and our safety, but are all too willing to sacrifice the lives of our men and women in uniform. Politicians who send us into harm's way to be the world's police, to topple dictators who we don't like, to fight in unnecessary wars that actually undermine our national security, squandering taxpayer dollars, destroying entire countries, and then turning their backs on us when we come home. Tired of politicians who are telling us that in order for our brothers and sisters in uniform right now, who are suffering and dying from toxic burn pit exposure, before they can get the care they need, that we've got to provide proof of that mixing pot of trash and chemical ash that we inhaled every single day of our multiple deployments. Tired of politicians who shake their heads at this unbearable statistic of veterans who survive combat only to come home and lose the battle, taking their own lives while failing to provide the necessary resources to prevent this tragedy from ever occurring in the first place. Tired of politicians who bemoan the opioid epidemic that's destroying the lives of veterans and Americans all across this country, and yet refuse to allow the VA to prescribe alternatives like medicinal marijuana as a safe alternative to these highly addictive drugs. Our veterans, our men and women in uniform deserve better. Actions, not words. For me, it's been over 16 years since I first enlisted, shipped off to basic combat training during the hot summer to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Yeah, all right, you know what I'm talking about. Never forget. I'm still serving as a major today, and I tell you, I am so grateful to have the opportunity, the privilege to be able to serve alongside so many great patriots. The rare few, those who are willing to sacrifice life and limb to protect the safety, security, and freedom of all Americans. Great patriots who deserve respect and honor and the thanks of our grateful nation.
I wanted to present to you an American flag that just this morning was flying over the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, which I know you helped fight the fight to keep it the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Executive privilege here, and I know when she was talking about self-serving politicians, she didn't mean me. And she also, I know, didn't mean my colleague on the County Board of Supervisors. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas has joined us. Please give him a round of applause. Mark serves with me on the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Commission, and the Coliseum actually sits in his supervisorial district, not mine. So it's like permission to come aboard, Supervisor. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
And certainly thank you to Supervisor Hahn and Congresswoman Gabbard. Supervisor Hahn, you saw just a moment ago giving away one of the flags. The flags that she's giving to each of the speakers this morning were all flown here at the Coliseum, and those are her token of appreciation, and they mean so much. Now, as we continue, I want to welcome Lieutenant General Stacey Harris to the stage. Lieutenant General Harris is the first African-American woman to hold the rank of Air Force Lieutenant General. She reports to the Secretary and Chief of Staff of the Air Force, oversees the inspection and evaluation system for all Air Force nuclear and conventional forces, counterintelligence operation, and chairs the Air Force Intelligence Oversight Panel. Please, a warm welcome for Lieutenant General Stacey Harris.
So good morning, everyone. As a retiree, it's absolutely my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you, Supervisor Hahn, and all the organizers and volunteers for including me in this wonderful celebration of service and gratitude for our veterans. I feel very fortunate, as I was born into the Air Force and also born in Los Angeles, actually just 2 miles up the road at the California Hospital. So I'm affectionately known as an Air Force brat, as my dad was career enlisted in the Air Force. Whether here in the U.S. or abroad, they have faced big challenges head on. So we all are veterans a great debt of gratitude, beginning with those we are blessed are still with us today. Once again, the world's greatest generation, our World War II heroes and sheroes. And to our unsung heroes, our family and friends, we owe you a heartfelt thank you for your unconditional, unwavering support and love. Thank you to all who have served and are currently serving our nation in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard on active duty, Guard, and Reserve. I salute you. We salute you. May God bless all of you, and may God bless America.
So please honor the United States Army. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Navy and their families. And now the United States Air Force. The United States Coast Guard. Also, the United States Merchant Marines and the United States National Guard. Thank you all very much, and thanks very much to the Beach Brass Band. There was included in there a special edition honoring the Merchant Marines and the National Guard in that rendition. Oh, is that now? Okay, let's do that now. Here, we're going to ad-lib on the fly. Let's hear it for the Merchant Marines. So you guys stand with your families. Let us thank you. And as Congresswoman Gabbard said, not just today, but every day. So go ahead and be seated now. This is a moment we're going to bring Supervisor Hahn back to the microphone, but also I'd like to bring Boatswain Mate Larry Gear. He's a boatsman's mate second class, Larry Gear. He's going to ring the USS Los Angeles bell today. Larry served in the U.S. Navy from 1980 to 1992. The highlight of his career was serving aboard the battleship Missouri during the reactivation of that iconic ship. Larry continues his service with over 3,000 hours of volunteer service aboard the battleship Iowa Museum at the Port of Los Angeles. And also here in just a moment, you're going to hear from Staff Sergeant Cortrell Tucker. He's going to be singing Proud to be American, God Bless the USA. But please, for now, welcome back Supervisor Hahn.
Watch the clock, it's 10:56. World War I, as you know, famously ended with an armistice enacted on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. And every year across the nation, houses of worship, schools, town halls, firehouses, police stations, anywhere people gather to honor and remember, bells toll 21 times at 11 a.m. on November 11th to salute all our veterans, especially those who fought in World War I. Today, we right here will commemorate this anniversary by lighting the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum's historic torch. And we will be ringing the bells of peace and witnessing a flyover by the Tiger Squadron. However you want to take this moment, if you want to stay seated and think about someone, if you want to stand, if you want to pray for someone, if you want to in your heart just thank all the veterans who have given us the freedoms that we enjoy every day, you may do it in your own way. It's 10:58. And I was drawing that speech out. I know, and that 10:58 is not moving. Yeah. Okay, well we do, so the people knowing to light the torch, are they standing ready? Okay, they're standing ready. The bell, are you ready? I'm hoping the bells throughout Los Angeles County. We notified all the Catholic churches within the area to peal their bells. USC is also supposed to be, it's 10:59. 10:59. You wonder how they actually signed it on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, but they did. Okay, get ready. Mark this occasion. Remember where you were today when we lit the torch in honor of all those who served. Wait for it.
Wow.
Okay, there it is.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I worked all my life and had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today. Cause the flag's still standing and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you when things are here today. Cause I'm glad, no doubt, I love this land. I bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where's pride in every American heart, and this time I stand to say. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. And we gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died and gave that right to me. And we proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the God bless the USA and all the veterans out there. God bless you all.
That's the grand. I was making my transition.
Yeah. These are like
I started off at
choi
after 25 years or so, I decided to retire, and I wondered what I could do. And I went to interview.